Can you please like the movie story? At the start, a couple, Jim and Kat, are shown living their lives to the fullest. They love each other a lot. Kat does a job in a company and Jim was jobless. He used to spend his time at home and Kat asks Jim to go on vacation the next week. Jim says we can't because there is my interview next week. Kat becomes angry and Jim tries to make her agree. He says, Kat, I will cook your favorite food when you will return. But Jim hears news when he picks up his cell and the doctor was telling about the Alvin virus. He doesn't see it properly and the doctor was telling Alvin virus is dangerous. It makes the individual aggressive. But Jim stands in his balcony while ignoring this. Meanwhile, he sees a lady on another terrace, but she was soaked in blood. She was reacting strangely. Here we discover she was infected and has ended someone. Kat was ready and asks Jim to drop her at office. Meanwhile, Jim sees his neighbor coughing. He asks his neighbor, "Are you fine?" He replies, "Yes, I am all right." Jim moves to drop Kat while putting his phone on charge at home. On the way, they see few people and the police officers. The police have caught the people and there was a dead kid as well. It means the virus is spreading in the world rapidly, but they weren't aware of this. Jim drops Kat at her officer and returns home. While returning, Jim doesn't find the police or the people and wonders how they could vanish so quickly. Jim sees that old lady when he goes to have food at a restaurant. And she has come there while chasing him. A boy sees her condition and asks, "Are you fine?" But the lady doesn't answer him. She laughs and vomits on him. Later, she burns the restaurant's cook and the boy was also now infected on whom she does vomit. He was beating everyone and Jim asks the old lady why is she doing this? But she moves forward to attack him. Jim was running while escaping from her and the old lady collides with a car. And she dies, but Jim was hearing strange voices from his surroundings. He has understood the people here have become infected. He runs towards his house and hides inside while turning on the TV, but there wasn't TV signals. He calls Kat, but she doesn't answer, so he leaves a message asking where she is. Kat does not respond, and he becomes concerned about her whereabouts. Meanwhile, the neighbor who was coughing attacks Jim in his house and removes his fingers with scissors. Jim hits a pan to that neighbor's head in his defense. And the neighbor gets faint due to it. Now Jim moves out in search of Kat. He finds everyone infected and starts his scooty slowly. But when they hear his scooty's voice, everyone rushes toward him. He was driving speedily to save his life from those infected people. Kat was returning home on the train and was reading a book. Meanwhile, a man was sitting near Kat says, "I will give you a rose." He says, "I like you," and Kat ignores him while saying thank you. The man again asks her what is written in the book you are reading. Kat feels bad and she becomes furious at that man. And says, "Listen to me, I am not interested to be your friend. Even then, if you will try talk to me, I will call the police." The man becomes furious after hearing this. Then few men get on the train when it stops at the next station. One of them was wearing black glasses. It means that boy was infected and he suddenly takes out the knife. He starts beating everyone. And the boy was behaving strangely, even he wasn't stopping if anyone is trying to. Many people become infected on the train because of him. And start eating each other brutally. The man who was teasing Kat also becomes infected and the train reaches its station. Then Kat jumps while taking a girl with her because she wasn't infected. The man who had teased Kat and was now infected continued to tease Kat. Kat asks the girl, "We have to run for saving our life." Meanwhile, they meet a bodybuilder on the way. Kat asks bodybuilder to help them and he says to the man, "Why is he teasing the girls?" He gives him a punch on it, but he suddenly bites his nose. And divides him into small pieces with an axe. Kat and the girl get scared to see this. They meet a man on the exit door and Kat was forbidding the man to shut the door. But the man doesn't listen to them and closes the door and they somehow come out. Kat asks the man while coming out why he didn't help them. Even I was shouting loudly not to close the door. The man says I was ordered to shut the door no matter who is stuck inside. The girl with Kat punches the man in anger. And his nose starts bleeding. Then Kat asks the man, "Tell me, where is the hospital?" Then he tells them the hospital's location. On another side, Jim was finding Kat and sees many corpses on the way. He gets scared and drives his scooty at a high speed. Jim reaches a bridge and finds many cars into an accident there. Meanwhile, he finds a weapon and keeps it for his safety. He hears the shouting voice and finds few students there. But they were beating a man badly. Jim beats them and makes them run from there, but when he releases the man he was laughing. He says, "I was enjoying being beaten, why you released me?" Jim discovers the man is also infected. Jim runs from there, but Kat brings that man with injured eye to the hospital. But the nurse says we have to operate him. The girl gets panicked, but Kat makes her understand not to be scared. Then Kat takes phone from security guard to inform Jim about her. She installs an app and discovers Jim has sent many messages and calls to her. Everyone was watching the news and the president tells everyone not to worry. We will soon make an antidote, and president was asking the persons to stay where they are. The president asks them to end any aggressive humans nearby them. The general also gives a speech and says the aggressive person wants to end someone. Meanwhile, his eyes turns black and everyone discovers the general is also infected. He puts a grenade in the president's mouth while holding his neck. Due to it, his head blasts. Two people start fighting and everyone gets scared to see this. And thinking maybe they are also infected. Meanwhile, the police arrive and threaten to shoot them with their guns if they do not relax. Kat sees the man behind the door who was teasing her in the train. And was also infected. He reaches the hospital while chasing her and attacks the officer. The officer also dies and the man has brought many infected people with him. The infected people were attacking others, but the security guard hides under the table. The man was searching for Kat like insanes. But she calls Jim while hiding in the basement and tells him everyone is infected here. She tells him that I am hiding in the basement, so come soon to save me. Many infected people attack the security guard when he comes out of the table. The girl who was with Kat also becomes infected. She attacks the security guard with the help of a razor. On another side, the man also reaches the basement. He was trying to open the door and Kat runs while shutting the door. He moves in search of Kat with an axe, but Kat throws a fire extinguisher at him. He falls down because of it. Kat hits the fire extinguisher on his head, but he was still alive. He was laughing and saying, "Kat, there isn't any difference between us. I want violence and you are doing the same." A door opens when Kat has ended him. And there was a doctor behind who called Kat inside. He points gun at her and says, "There is blood on your body. And I don't know whether you are infected or not." He asks her to take a shower first. And then there will be a helicopter to save us. Jim also arrives outside the hospital to save Kat. But he becomes worried to see many corpses in his surroundings. Kat comes to the doctor and he gives her new clothes while telling her about this virus. He tells Kat this is a dangerous virus. But Kat sees an infected kid when she was going to throw her old clothes into the dustbin. He was alive and Kat understands that the doctor is doing experiment on this kid. The doctor injects Kat the virus and says this is virus. And if you will not be infected within 5 minutes, then I will make an antidote with your blood. And if you will be infected, then I will end you. Meanwhile, Kat messages Jim and tells where is she. Jim reads the message and he was trying to reach Kat hurriedly.